Hey guys, it's Christian here again, and this vlog is going to be about how to germinate, how to germinate different types of palm seeds in closed containers. Now, for closed containers, when I germinate a large quantity of seed, uh, sometimes I don't want to just put it in a community pot and just dump them in and put some soil on it. There are ways to get more heat going to the seed, or more heat is required. It's either required or it speeds up the germination process. So, again, I apologize. This is just raw video. I am not a video editor. I grow plants. So, um, I don't have a perfect stage or anything for this sort of thing. So, excuse the mess, but right here is my little swamp I've created for Cedar stachys renda, otherwise known as the lipstick balm. And these grow in a very swampy tropical climate in Malaysia, and they don't like drainage at all, and they like to be always wet and always warm. I keep these in the garage. These could be potted up into 4-inch pots, but I don't want to do that right now because it's still kind of chilly. We could still get a sub 45 degree Fahrenheit night here. So I'm keeping them here till about another month, another 3 weeks, and then I'll put them into pots. But I keep this moist all the time. If you can see the condensation on, this is the top to that one. So you can see the water, it's very wet. It's just a very hot, humid environment in there, and they thoroughly enjoy that. Now, you can notice there's a little bit of perlite that's mostly cocoa fiber in there. So it's just a humid environment. In fact, the roots are actually growing out perfectly fine outside of the soil because they're just moist. As long as the roots are nice and moist, they don't mind if they're in soil or out. Just the soil tends to hold the moisture. So here's another. This one needs to be watered. I mostly cleaned this one out just from selling seedlings as they were, or just germinated seed. I had about 1,000 seeds, so I couldn't just put them into community pots and let them sit outside. They're just never going to germinate that way. Here is a newer acquisition, and these are Adelaide butyracea seed. Now, this is a classic seed that requires a lot of heat and moisture to germinate. These are native to, Adelaides are native to Central and South America, but I think butyracea is native to Mexico. I'm not positive. I had to look it up. There's about 80 species, and I couldn't tell you exactly. But here, when I close this bin, when I put this top on this bin here, close it up. Oh, this is going to be hard one-handed. So I'm going to close this up here, and then these little lock. You can get these at Big Lots for like $6, and that's where I go, Big Lots. And when you close it like that, and then when the heat comes in, it actually holds it even better. If we have it in sunlight, it cooks it so to speak, even more. So for those, that is how I germinate seeds that need more humidity. And I shouldn't have closed that, but the perlite in there, it's 100% perlite, just a bin of perlite. You water it in, and you can just, most of the time, you don't need to water it again, maybe once or twice. But check on it every week or so, especially for germination. Now, when you water it in, when you dump in the perlite, it's gonna be all powdery, and it's gonna be kind of make this big fluff, and you don't want to inhale perlite. It's not good for you. It's just a puffed up mineral, but you want to make sure the perlite is nice and wet, and it's you don't want water sitting at the bottom. You can see there's just some condensation on there, and that's about it. So that's the best way to germinate those. And you can see up here, a little bit of mold is kind of forming. It's not necessarily bad. If you see mold in there, it really depends. These seeds are meant to take this kind of wetter, humid, in humid environment, so they don't tend to succumb to fungus like other plants do, or other palms do. Now for these here are all tropical zamia seeds. Now, zamia is the same family as the kunti, or Florida's native cycad. These are all tropical ones. They're native to Panama, Costa Rica, Colombia. They're all in cocoa fiber in baggies, and I tumble them around, kind of like aerate the cocoa fiber. You want to be. I take these. I'm very delicate with these because of the nature of they are not. well, they're they're a little bit harder to grow, and they're not cheap. So I'll look at them every couple days to kind of see which ones are germinating. So that's how I do that part. Let me pause this and I'll go outside. Okay, so I'm not positive which one of these has all the... These are all ones I think that are germinated. So we're back in the back. And you can see these are kind of all over the place, but this is Alligoptera arenaria. And they're doing pretty well. Their roots are, their roots are everywhere, but they're nice and humid. I kind of left a little bit of the fruit on. That's why it's stained a little bit. That's okay. Most seeds tend to be okay with that. And here's Orengo westerhudii. I didn't get great germination. I think that's due to the fact that the seed was not 100% fresh. I got it from overseas. And for the big daddy here, let's hope they're still doing well. As you can see, this is Gausia princeps. This is a plant that normally grows on rocky cliffs in Cuba. Really tall, kind of like a bottle palm. And that's Chamaedorea tepalajote, native to Mexico. Kind of a bigger Chamaedorea. Almost looks like the king palm of the Americas, in a way, at least of the Chamaedorea. So they're all over the place, but it's so humid. See those little fuzzy parts of those roots? It's actually little, I want to say they're capillary roots that absorb moisture, and they're loving that right now. The only downside is they're not getting a lot of sun, so they are a little bit stretched out. Now when I pot them up, which will be soon, there's about, I don't know, 200 there. They'll get a little bit more sun. So things to remember when you're doing things in closed containers. Now realize that fungus is an issue. If you put too much water in, and the plants are not a big fan of sitting in a very moist, humid environment, you don't want to put desert like palms in seed containers. That will cause them to rot. This is more for tropical. Let's just open this up here just for the sake of looking. Oop. And so this is for more going to be subtropical, humid, and tropical plant palms. And this also works well with a lot of cycad seeds. Surprisingly, if you have good cycad seed, you want to always clean the fruit off. Don't leave the fruit on when putting them in bins like this, because the fruit will rot, and the rot will be so bad it will actually cause too much fungus. So obviously I have a potting project here, a little bit out of control. And this happened in the middle of the winter too. So 75 degree or 75 degree highs, created more of like an 85 degree environment inside there, and it really boosted those seeds up to they're definitely ready for a pot. So anyway, that's about it for the bin germination. I'll do like an open air germination. I'll show you what kind of palms will grow best in the open air. I also need to make sure that staining and fungus doesn't get into the other seeds here. So thanks for watching, and feel free to send me an email or a comment. You can get me at cfkingfish@gmail.com, and thank you for watching.